Nitai Gaur Premanande. Like we said earlier, so today we are in chapter 7, Knowledge of the Self, and it's Shloka 18. Let's read. Udhara sarva evaita Jnanita vatmeva matam Asthita sahi yukta ma Mam evanutam gatim Udhara sarva evaite Jnanita vatmeva matim Asthita sahi yuktatma Mam evanutam gatim Udhara sarva evete Jnanitam atmeva matim Asthita sahi yuktatma Mam evanutam gatim Udhara, magnanimous, sarve, all, eva, certainly, ete, these, jnani, one who is in knowledge, tu, but, atma eva, just, like myself, me, mat, matam, opinion, asthita, situated, sa, he, certainly, yukta atma, engaged in devotional service, mam, in me, eva, certainly, anutamam, the highest, gatim, destination. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. Purport. It is not that devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. The Lord says that all are magnanimous because anyone who comes to the Lord for any purpose is called a Mahatma or a great soul. The devotees who want some benefit out of devotional service are accepted by the Lord because there is an exchange of affection. Out of affection, they ask the Lord for some material benefit. And when they get it, they become so satisfied that they also advance in devotional service. But the devotee in full knowledge is considered to be very dear to the Lord because his only purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord with love and devotion. Such a devotee cannot live a second without contacting or serving the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Lord is very fond of his devotee and cannot be separated from him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.468, the Lord says, "The devotees are always in my heart, and I am always in the heart of my devotees. The devotee does not know anything beyond me, and I also cannot forget the devotee. There is a very intimate relationship between me and the pure devotees. Pure devotees in full knowledge are never out of spiritual touch, and therefore they are very much dear to me." Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahagana Lalita Shivishakha Vitamsa. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishwapanu Sute Devi Pranamame Hari Pre Vanchakalpa Tarun Vyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Now, when we begin, first thing I must mention, the verses in this chapter from Shloka 15th to 19th, they're all conjoined, they're all related to each other. First, the Lord talks about souls who are not surrendered and they're not good, demonic by nature or selfish, such 4 bad qualities they have. And then the Lord mentions 4 good qualities are there and they're surrendered souls. Thereafter, he mentions the pure devotees gain the knowledge and they love the Lord. They're surrendered to the Lord. Now, in this shloka today, the Lord is talking that he's saying, even they all are magnanimous souls. But he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider just to be like my own self. That's a big thing. Now, then the question would be, what about people who are not in knowledge of the Lord completely? But before we go there, do we see the word here, the first word in Sanskrit, udhara, that we mentioned over here? Udhara has 2 meanings. One is magnanimous soul, which is great soul, very good in quality. Second one is when a person is very charitable, then also we say udhara. Why would we say charitable? What do you think? How would, just because khali bahut paisa dete hain, that's charitable? How do we use the word charitable over here?
But somewhere it is the feeling for doing good to others, and that can be considered a part of devotional business.
Okay, that would count as charity according to you, yeah? Okay, yes. Any other meaning? What would be the charity that one is giving? Okay, one is doing good for others. Okay. What is he giving the Lord in charity? I'll be more precise here. Since we all have the free will, we are giving our time, which is most precious in the world that we have today. That is the time that we surrender to the Lord. We give to serving the Lord with. That is the most precious thing in the world. No matter, they say, even 1 second, you can't pay for it and gain it back. So, time is the most precious thing in the world, and that is what we're devoting, we're giving to the Lord. So, this word udhara also refers to charitable. Now, my question was, what about one who's not in knowledge of the Lord? What about that person? How would we look at the person then?
If he is little bit devotee also, that is also dear.
But either like very dear to the Lord, but apart from referring to this, very dear to the Lord, but how? Why? Why would we say that? Give me an example when we say, okay, even if such a person is very dear to the Lord, we all have heard of such a devotee very often from Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we say, even a person without knowledge is dear to the Lord, who are we referring to?
When we say any person devotee, means he is remembering God, not a old time, immediately time, in room, you can see. So when the word is devotee, means he is dear to Krishna. Like that.
Okay, I'll be more precise. Say a devotee with material desires. Now, who can we refer to? And today he is a pure devotee of the Lord. But he had approached the Lord to surrender to the Lord with material desires. Of wanting a lot of wealth, I'll be more precise now. Clue. Kingdom.
Dhruv.
There you go. Chai. Thank you, Nirmalji. Yes. Dhruva Maharaj. When he was a little boy, what happened to him? Do we all remember the pastime? Prabhu, tell me. Nirmalji, kahiye.
Well, I think his stepmom had sort of shunned him away, and then he had to sort of, his mom told him to approach. He wanted his father's love. He was not able to get that, so his mom told him to approach Narayan and to worship Lord. So he went to the forest over there, and he did very strong tapasya. He came to a point when he even stopped breathing. So the Narad Muni approached him, and Narad Muni basically guided him to approach, and then finally the Lord appeared before him. And then he actually wanted a greater kingdom than even his father, King Uttamadi, right? The name was
Uttamada.
Yeah. And then of course finally, but when he saw the Lord before him, he forgot everything. He only asked for pure love and
Yeah, pretty much like that. See, when Dhruva Maharaj was very young, can you imagine a 5-year-old child? Would we let a 5-year-old child go cross a road, red light? No, we're so scared. But after he wanted to sit on his father's lap, his stepmother took him off, saying, "You're not born from my womb, so you cannot sit on your father's lap. Sorry about that. Go and, take birth from my womb, and then you can come back and do that." Imagine hearing words like that. We're like, it's okay, chalega, next time, But he got so offended because he's a Kshatriya blood. They cannot take even a slight insult in any way. But him being 5 years old, he went to his mother and he said, "So what can I do about this? This is how rudely she's spoken to me. And she's insulted you also by saying that I should be born from her womb. Only then I can sit on my father's lap." And what did the mother say? Really, it's beyond my imagination. Mother asked the 5-year-old little boy to go to the forest and do tapasya. First, she told him, "You have to worship the Lord, do tapasya, Narayan." He said, "Okay, fine, I can do that." He thought that would be doable at home. And she said, "No, you have to head to the forest. That is where all the great Rishi Munis go, and that is where it's possible for you to obtain the mercy of the Lord." Obviously, we all know forest is not a welcome, lucky, good place. There are going to be snakes, there are going to be scorpions, and a lot of beasts, animals, wild animals. Can you imagine a mother telling a child, 5 years old, go to the forest and do tapasya there for years, right? No. But then, yes, what does Dhruva do? He listens to his mother. Please pay attention to the words in the story, because we have to get to know exactly how come the Lord is saying these words, and there will be a final question, so please be prepared. So he listens to the words of his mother, okay, and he heads to the forest. He goes there. Then who does he meet over there? Like you said, Nirmalji, Narad Muni. Narad Muni, seeing the little boy, he is surprised himself. And he tells him, "It's your age to play, have fun, have a good time. So this is not where you belong. Please go back home. And come back after you grow up a bit. Not now. This is not the right time. It is not a safe place." Narad Muni tells him that too. So what would our reaction be? Because these are words of Narad Muni. He's not an ordinary person. But what he did was, he just told Narad Muni out of respect that I definitely do respect you and your words, but he was so sternly determined to obtain his wish, his desire. He wanted it fulfilled, that it did not matter how unsafe the place is considered to be, how the place is. But he said, "No, I will just do my tapasya as I'm supposed to, because my mother said that. And it is possible and doable by me." So Narad Muni said, "Okay, this boy is not the one who's going to listen to me now." So he told him what to do. And then he was there for about 6 months. And his tapasya was not ordinary tapasya. The last point, like you said, Nirmal, he wasn't even breathing. The air stopped. So all the demigods also had a problem. Finally, they all approached Lord Vishnu, Narayan, do something about this. And then Lord Narayan had to come down to Dhruva Maharaj. Obviously, his wish was getting fulfilled by then. But then what's the outcome? Because you see, just now Srila Prabhupada mentions, right? When one is completely satisfied, they don't even want that material desire to be fulfilled. They're so purified just by having darshan of the Lord. It doesn't mean anything to them anymore. Because you see the Lord, you're there already in service of the Lord in person. So would any amount of wealth mean anything to us? So Dhruva immediately refused to accept anything. He had asked for a kingdom bigger, much bigger than his father. Bigger than Lord Brahma. But he was like, no, I don't want anything now. Once I see you, that is much more than enough. What more can I ask for? What we would feel the same, right? If I say, I will give you a $10 million Mark 6, you have that one choice. Or you can have the 1 second darshan of Lord Vishnu. Now choice is yours. Which one do you want?
1 second. Darshan.
Sorry? Darshan? 1 second.
1 second.
My eyesight is not that good. I may not be able to see him so clearly. So do I still want darshan?
Yes, darshan.
Imagine his situation. So he said, definitely, darshan of the Lord. And then he said, I don't want anything more. Okay, now this was the first instance we heard about before I arrive at my questions, Dhruva Maharaj. Second very good example for us is from Ramayana, Shabri. What did she do? Since her youth, since her young age, she went to a Rishi Muni's ashram. Finally, she had to end up over there. And then, what she was doing only simply, when the Rishi had to leave, the only option she had was, he told her, the Lord will definitely come here. Keep on serving him continuously. But what was a guarantee that she had? Because imagine the life of 10,000 years. That's how lengthy the life was in that yuga. So, now we get bored if we don't have anything to do, and we would look for guarantees. We want like something. We can't just sit quietly and say, okay, I believe you, whatever you say. No, I need guarantee. Or someone this has happened in the past with, right? But she quietly listened. She heard her spiritual master, and she every day on a daily basis took the bears, collected the bears, and she would go ahead and taste them. And then, because they're sweet, she would collect them, a bunch of them, in a bucket that she was holding. And what was the end result? I believe quite a few of us know that definitely.
Many years did Sri Ram come.
Towards the end of her life. She was quite an elderly person. Lord Rama did arrive. Now, here comes a question. Do we all have faith in the Lord?
But not, we have, but it's not to very extent, like, we have faith. But not very sure, like,
Okay.
around 90%, 10%.
90% or 10%? That's a big difference.
90% faith,
Okay, 90% faith.
10%, but should be 100%.
Okay. Okay.
I think some of us have, some have very little faith, some have much more, some have full faith. So depending on the person.
I think there's 100% verbal faith.
That's a good one.
Words, yes, but action, like, easy to say. Everybody says, yes, I do. But then when the situation comes, that's a different story completely. Yeah.
You can tell.
I think Nirmaji is getting the answer to what I'm going to say now, the katha. So let me, just because I'm wearing a sari, I've got a tilak on, I'm giving a class, I'm wearing a kanti mala, does not show a devotee. You know what I mean? A person with faith is not complete faith. When we say complete faith, just listen to this katha and then we will get an idea of what the faith is actually. There was this lady whose husband I have said this katha story before, so you may be aware of it. Her husband had leprosy. So obviously nobody would touch him from any angle because then they would get leprosy, they would get infected. And so she told him, what can I do to get him cured? Because this is really bad, he can't even move. So his condition is really terrible now, please help me out. She told everybody. So finally all the priests got together and then they said, there's only one solution. take your husband, make him take a dip in the Ganges water. Let him purify. And then when he's out, nothing to worry about. He's going to get 100% very good, very healthy. There will be no problem at all. She said, are you sure? Dip in the Ganges? Because there were also priests over there. They said, absolutely. Dip in Ganges and he's going to be pure. There's nothing to worry about. No harm at all whatsoever. And she said, okay. Then she told him, when are we going to the Ganges? And the priest told her, we're leaving tomorrow. Can join us. So she said, okay. She was the one to lift her husband and hold him and carry him along. When they reached halfway, obviously she would get tired doing it single-handedly. So she put him down, made him lie down, rest. And she told the other people in the village and the priest as well. She said, I need your help, please. When we move forward now, can you all please help me carry him? I'm really tired. My back is really gone. It's bad now. I can't do this anymore. The minute she said that, they immediately revoked their words. They said, hands off. We can't touch a man with leprosy. No way. We're going to get infected. Then she immediately said, but aren't we all going to the Ganges? I mean, even if you're infected, you are going to take a dip too. So if my husband's going to be free, he's so deeply infected, so will you, because you have nothing. And look at me. I've been carrying him so long. Nothing's happened with me. I'm okay still. So I'm sure we can all carry him there. It'll be fine. And the minute she said that, they all just, sorry, please manage yourself. And they just made a move. So this is where the Lord comes in the picture. Where's the faith? In the words that we heard. She heard the words from them. Take a dip in the Ganges and you will be completely pure. So what happened to the words? Is there faith in the words? But they're the words from the Shastra. It's not just manufactured by a, ABC company or something. They're coming from the Shastra. That means the faith that we all have, sorry to say, including myself, but is not solid, is not faith as yet. Because how do we generate that level of faith, good faith in the Lord? You listen to the words. That's part one. Part two, do you believe the words or not? That's the second part. If the answer is yes, take action on the words. When we act on the words, that is a message we give to the Lord, to show the Lord that, look, I'm 100% yours. I'm completely surrendered to you. I believe your words. Because it's very easy, take this example. A wife sits down whole day since morning. She tells her husband, I love you, I really love you. No matter he calls her, I love you. He's coming home after work, he's really tired. She just tells him again, oh, I really love you so much. I've been thinking about you the whole day. And he goes, okay, I'm really hungry. Can I get something to eat? I love you so much. I've been thinking about you the whole time. I had no time to prepare food for you. And he's looking at her, he's like, okay, but what about my hunger? She goes, I love you. You can order food from outside, right? So take it easy, do it yourself, you manage. There's lots of money, right? But see me, I love you. That is our faith. When we tell the Lord, oh, I really love you. I'm devoted to you. But when it comes to taking actions based on His words, it's okay. Somebody else can do it. I just love you. Understand my feelings for you. Right? So the best is when we can show our feelings based on His words. Shishi Gaur Nitai Ki Chai. When we hear the words of the Lord, the best is when we act on those words. Why is the Lord giving us those words? He's telling us those words. Doesn't He have anything better to do? Simply because He wants purification within us to take place. When we get purified, that means we can return back home, back to Godhead. इसमें हमारा ही फायदा है, उनका कोई फायदा नहीं है. There's no benefit for the Lord. Only us, our happiness He wants, right? That is what counts the most. So basically, from a person with improper knowledge yet, this is what we learn, really. Knowledge doesn't matter. See, Dhruva Maharaj, the best part about Dhruva Maharaj and Shabri were, they heard the words and they acted on the words. There were no second thoughts. Like Narad Muni even told him, it's a dangerous place. There are going to be creatures, beasts over here, so return home. You're too young, go enjoy first, then you come back when you're older. Did he do that? No. My mother said, it's good for me to go now. So he went. He followed the words accordingly. So same thing for the Shastras. When we come across the words, we should also follow the words of the Lord. At least to let Him know. Yes. As we know in English it said, every action has a reaction. When we take action, it's the Lord's chance to show us a reaction of that. Right? So, that's what it is. And then over here also they talk about devotees who have proper knowledge. How does one get proper knowledge? What's a good example for that? Again, we're talking about children here. Since we said Dhruv in one, who's the second one we can think of? Proper knowledge. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Prahlad Maharaj. He's the one. He was in the womb of his mother when he got knowledge from his teacher was Narada Muni. So he got perfect knowledge already from Narada Muni. And what does the Lord say? When we have proper knowledge, what does the Lord say? Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam preti purvakam. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, what does the Lord do? Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. He shows them directions by giving them the understanding on how to come back home, back to Godhead, approach the Lord. So that is all we can look for. If one may say, but I'm always trying to, gain more knowledge, understand. I read, but I'm failing to do so. Why? What is blocking us? We all have the answer. The first one was the answer. The actions. We have to take action on the words of the Lord. We can't just sit here and say, oh, I really like what he said. It's beautiful. A lot of people, when we want to distribute the Bhagavad Gītā, they nicely say, Arey, hai, Bhagavad Gītā hai. We have it already years. Have you read the Bhagavad Gītā? No, we haven't read it yet. But it's there. It'll take time, but we'll get to it. We'll read it. Don't worry. I don't have anything to worry about. I'm only giving it to you. You have something to worry about, especially if you want to get out of here. We should read the words of the Lord, discuss with people in the temple, the devotees, if we can, and then see how we can act on the words. So at least we'll have a reaction from the Lord then. And then again, there's also a solution that's given by Srila Prabhupada to all of us. What is the solution Srila Prabhupada has given us? He repeatedly says that in every book of his. That too, yes. One more.
Surrender to Krishna.
वो तो पक्का है. That's why we're chanting.
दो ही करने थे.
Seek a guru. Not in every book. Okay. Read the Shastras. That is very important. Because there are times, each... Yes, Prabhu.
Devotional service?
That, of course, because the books are about devotional service. Yes. Because see, every word we read from a Shastra written by Srila Prabhupada, it has a purification effect. It purifies our consciousness. We get the feeling that, oh wow, why am I not doing it? Every word we read, it purifies to the extent that it awakens that feeling in the heart. Why am I not doing it? One begins to question oneself. What is stopping me from moving forward? Right? That is the effect just of reading just a couple of words. So imagine what is the effect of chanting. 16 words in one Maha Mantra. So what is the effect of the purification taking place? How strong can it be? Very strong. Because the recommendation is coming straight from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nobody else, right? Even Srila Prabhupada says, I'm not the one saying it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's Radha Krishna, themselves are asking us to do so. So what can be more purifying than that? So that is the strength. We have simply been told, just chant as many. Doesn't mean 16 in the beginning. We can begin with less. As the taste develops, there are points of time that we want to chant more. When the taste develops, we feel like, I haven't chanted enough today. I have to do more now. Because, how do you say in Hindi? Wo kheech padti hai, right? That I have to say the Lord's name more times. This is not sufficient, is not enough. Then we want to chant some more rounds. And then, what else? Something we love. Prasadam. Honor prasadam as much as we can. Imagine you're tasting food that has the saliva of the Lord in it. We can't see it, doesn't matter. When you heartfully serve the Lord, there's a reciprocation there. Lord's mercy is in the food, that is we call prasadam. So that's what Srila Prabhupada says, imagine the Lord's saliva is in the food. That's how we are getting affected. That is what we call prasadam. And imagine honoring prasadam every day. Reading the Shastra, honoring prasadam, chanting. Such strong remedies we have. So our eternal doctor has given us that remedy. And then he said it truly depends on all of us. How much of the remedy are we going to adapt to in our life? If a person is very sick, it depends on him how much or how strong medicine he will adapt to, how soon he wants to get well, right? Otherwise, it's out of the question. We'll be stuck here in the material pool forever. If we sincerely want to get out of here, the remedies have been given. We only have to adapt to the remedies. And there might be a problem. The biggest problem is when we don't have a taste for chanting as yet. Who has such problems? I know I did. Nobody? You all are very great souls. There's a very beautiful prayer which I had said for a very long time. So I thought to share with all of you today. It's said by Sri Rupa Goswami. It comes from Padyavali. And he's very beautifully said, Vicharyani, Vicharyani, Vichintayani, Puna Puna, Kripa Pasva Dhana Naiva Tvam Namani Bhavantu Me. That means, may I collect, count and remember your holy names, just the way a miserly person collects, counts and remembers his money. Now, if somebody's going to give me 1 million, I'm going to run and say, yes, I'm right here. All yours now. Give it to me, man. So, same thing should be our consciousness for the holy name. That is the level of consciousness we want for the holy name. So, all we can do is sincerely just pray. And just admit to the Lord, please, I don't have that taste yet. Unless I have that taste, I will not be able to say the holy names with love in my heart. Forget with love, but I will not even just be able to say the holy names. So please have mercy on me. Give me that taste so that at least allow me to say the holy names so that I can get purified. You want me to be happy, don't you? That's what the Lord wants, all of us to be happy. How will I be eternally happy if I'm stuck over here? And if I don't get out, if I don't say holy names, I can't get out. So please allow me to have that feeling of wanting to chant your holy name, please. We can simply pray to the acharyas. That is all we need to do. And the taste just, trust me, again I say by experience also, it does develop. One does develop the taste. I am just like that, like everybody else on the road. There was no taste. How can the taste suddenly just erupt within oneself? It doesn't. Simply pray for it to erupt, come in our lives, enter our lives, so that we can make a place in the heart for the Lord to enter in our lives. We know He's there, but He wants us to make a place for Him to be there. He's made a place for Him. Without Him, we can't even function. He knows that. But we have to say, we want to give you a place in our heart. Then He's happy to be here. So for that to happen, all we need to do is chant, read the Shastras. That is how we gain more knowledge about Him. And when we gain more knowledge, the taste in our heart erupts. We will want to read more, glorify Him more, chant more, definitely. And one gets to gain more knowledge accordingly. So Lord's knowledge, He spread it all over. But it really depends on all of us. Do we want that knowledge? Do we want the Lord in our life that badly? If we do, everything is available. Please freely take it, adapt to it in our lives. Hare Krishna, everybody. I will end the class here. Any questions? Please go ahead. Should there be any questions?
One question I have.
Yes, Prabhu.
Here, in this shloka, as you very nicely explained about how we can approach, how to get the taste. But is there some precautions to be taken in terms of mistakes or offenses or something?
Precautions, there are many, Prabhu. अभी अगर आप जाएंगे रोज नाइट क्लब में या drink alcohol, you do things which are going to be harmful, then obviously we're welcoming those things. So how will the Lord's name enter our life? Right? It's like this. If you're saying, I want to be very healthy, and if I'm going to eat 10 Panadols in one go, how is that going to function? That will not help. So best is keep devotees association. Read the Shastras. When you do those things, if I give you a Cosmopolitan magazine, I'll say, oh, read this, the latest trend, you will get to know of it, man. What more do you need? The latest style, who's in, who's out, everything you will get to know. But is it worth it? Does it help us in any way to get out of here and get closer to the Lord, serve the Lord in any way? If it doesn't help us, why do we want to do acts that are of no use? That only keep us bounded in this world. They're not going to help us in any way. So what is the point then? Yes, Maj.
How can we judge ourselves? How much faith I have?
We definitely are not capable of judging ourselves much because we all are contaminated souls. Not contaminated souls, sorry, contaminated beings, contaminated bodies. So definitely we are not capable of judging ourselves. Best is talk to a senior devotee. And for judging ourselves, the good caliber would be, though we are not good at it, but how much time, Mataji, are we spending in serving the Lord? How much time? Say I was doing, last year I was spending half an hour. What about this year? What's my improvement? Am I reading more Shastras? Am I serving the Lord more? Have I started cooking and offering? Am I chanting more? What am I doing more in devotional life, devotional services? So we can even count in that way. Then you would be able to tell yourself. Then you can in fact ask the senior devotees, how can I improve my services? That would be the advantage we all have. Otherwise, the best, of course, please speak to the senior devotees. They would be able to guide us and answer us on that front. Yes,
See,
Prabhu.
many times, many people do evil things in this life. They say they will suffer in next life. How do we know that they will suffer in next life? We never see that. Many people do evil things. They kill people, but because the governments are corrupt, they cheat the government. But you say they'll suffer next life. But how do we know that this person will suffer in the next life? Maybe it's a very difficult thing that many people, you know what goes on in the world, this Kali Yuga. I think 60–80% people are doing evil things or corrupt or whatever they are doing. But you say they'll suffer in the next life. But if somebody cheats you for money, let's say, so many people I see, I hear that they are cheating people, but nothing happens to them. And then you say they'll suffer in the next life. But what you are in the next past life, you don't do. You only know this life, but in next life, that person will suffer. Somebody cheats me for money or cheats him for money. And then you say next life you'll pay him or you'll suffer. But it becomes very complicated and difficult that the person suffers in his next life. Or if somebody is enjoying, and he's done a lot of good karma, he's enjoying in this life. But then partly he's even not enjoying or he is suffering. So the whole thing we say, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but it's very difficult to know that what that person has done in his past, this life he is doing something wrong, and then next life he will suffer. And he may you
Srila
suffer.
Prabhupada has answered very beautifully to this question. He says, don't worry about what the other people are doing. Worry about oneself. Work on getting oneself out of this material world. You can't control what other people do, but you can control what you do. So the best is you do devotional service. Don't look at what others are doing, because it's not going to be controllable by you. We can't tell them this is right, this is wrong, do this, do that, and it's not like they're going to listen to me. No. But only I'm going to listen to myself. So when you can control yourself to an extent, handle what you are doing. Don't worry about what the rest of the world is doing. Our focus should be on ourselves, our devotional service. Get ourselves to surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. Keep that to be as a primary goal. That is where our attention needs to be. Yeah? Is that all right, Prabhu?
I mean, I see some people I know, they are doing bad things, and I'm doing good things, but I'm not getting anything, and those guys are still getting it. So I wish the world, as you know, Kali, I've seen people like...
We all go through such experiences, Prabhu. That is what I'm saying.
Listen, like, let's say, I'm being very stupid, let's talk about Donald Trump. Before they say fired, he's a lousy guy, again they select him. And people say even if he's doing wrong things, bad things, still they select him. Like
The pool of karmas that's going on in their lives.
He has done some good karma, so he's coming back.
The pool of karmas.
Let's say even, I'm going too deep, stupid, like there was a Congress party in India, 50, 60 years, they killed our country, but still nothing.
Prabhu, I'm sure we're not here to discuss the politics. Let's chant our round, glorify the Lord, and like Srila Prabhupada said, focus on oneself.
Nobody has answers for these.
No, the answer is simple. What Srila Prabhupada said, simple. All I can say is that, please, let's focus on ourselves.
So they are getting money now. They are son like Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah, but the father, sir, enjoy the mother, enjoy now. The son is suffering.
Can you get me my bead back?
It's okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's mine.
Sorry.
Everybody can start. Sorry, I don't want to hold everybody. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Everybody, sorry, I kept on changing my tune. Srila Prabhupada has given us a very nice thing to do. Every time, because obviously we repeat 108 times, somebody had asked Srila Prabhupada, what if you get bored? We're going to lose interest. Srila Prabhupada said, change the tune when you chant. Then you will continuously be very attentive to the Lord's names and you will continue with love. So that is why I always keep on changing the tune.